Have you ever wondered what happened between Jesus' crucifixion and his ascension? The 40-day period between the resurrection and ascension is filled with mystery, profound teachings, and surprising moments. Let's explore this significant time, understanding its impact, and revealing what Jesus did during these days. Some revelations might shock you, while others will inspire you to embrace faith and purpose. Keep watching to discover the untold stories. To understand the significance of these 40 days, let's first revisit the crucifixion. Jesus' crucifixion was brutal and public, intended to make an example of him. The Roman authorities and Jewish leaders thought they had successfully silenced him. Jesus' disciples and followers were devastated. Many believed Jesus was the Messiah, the one who would bring liberation, but his death shattered their hopes and dreams. Yet, just 3 days after the crucifixion, the unthinkable happened: the resurrection. This momentous event transformed the despair of Jesus' followers into overwhelming joy. It wasn't just a miraculous comeback, it marked the beginning of a new era. The resurrection sent shockwaves through the community, and the disciples had to make sense of what had happened. Jesus' resurrection changed everything, and his appearances over the following 40 days became a crucial time for his followers. The first 3 days were full of uncertainty. During the 3 days between the crucifixion and resurrection, there are different interpretations of where Jesus went. Some believe he descended into hell, referencing 1 Peter 3, verses 18 till 20, which mentions Jesus making a proclamation to the imprisoned spirits. This interpretation suggests Jesus went to hell to proclaim victory over sin and death. Others believe Jesus went to heaven, citing Luke 23, verse 43, where Jesus tells the thief on the cross, "Today you will be with me in paradise." These 3 days were a time of uncertainty, and the different interpretations offer insights into Jesus' spiritual journey during this period. So let's look at his first appearances after the resurrection. One of the first people to witness the resurrection was Mary Magdalene. In John 20, verses 1 to 18, Mary goes to the tomb early on the first day of the week, finding the stone rolled away. Alarmed, she runs to tell Peter and John, who race to the tomb to see for themselves. After they leave, Mary stays behind, weeping, unsure of what has happened. She looks inside the tomb and sees 2 angels who ask why she's crying. She replies that someone has taken her Lord's body and she doesn't know where it is. As Mary turns around, she sees someone standing there but doesn't recognize him. It is Jesus. When he speaks her name, she realizes it's him. This is the first appearance of Jesus after the resurrection. He tells Mary to go and tell the disciples that he is alive. This event is crucial, as Mary becomes the first to spread the news of the resurrection, establishing her role as a key figure in this remarkable story. Yet this isn't the most shocking thing Jesus did, so let's dive into the rest of the story. In Matthew 28, verses 8 to 10, Jesus appears to other women who are allowed to touch him. This passage raises questions about why these women could touch Jesus, but Mary could not. It's possible that Jesus had not yet ascended to the Father when he appeared to Mary, but had done so before meeting the other women. This discrepancy is a topic of discussion among biblical scholars. But what happened when Jesus appeared to his disciples is a real moment of awe. His disciples were all together behind a firmly locked door because of their fear for the Jews. When suddenly Jesus appeared in their midst, saying, "Peace be unto you." After those words, he showed his wounds to his disciples, and they were all filled with joy to see their Lord. Again, Jesus said, "Peace be upon you." And then Jesus did something so exceptional. In John 20, verses 21 to 23, Jesus grants his disciples the true gift of forgiveness. Another significant story from this period is that of Thomas, one of the disciples who wasn't present when Jesus first appeared to the others. When the disciples told Thomas they had seen the risen Jesus, he doubted them, saying, "Unless I see the nail marks in his hands, and put my finger where the nails were, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe." John 20, verse 25. This illustrates the struggle some disciples had with faith, despite Jesus' predictions. A week later, Jesus appeared to the disciples again, and this time, Thomas was with them. Jesus invited Thomas to touch his wounds and see for himself. Thomas, overwhelmed and astonished, declared, "My Lord and my God." This encounter transformed Thomas from a doubter to a believer, demonstrating that even those who question can find faith when confronted with the truth. Despite Jesus' frequent references to his resurrection and the rebuilding of the temple in 3 days, many disciples struggled with disbelief. In Matthew 28, verses 16 to 17, when Jesus appeared to the disciples in Galilee, some still doubted, even after seeing him. This reaction is intriguing, given that Jesus had foretold his resurrection. It reflects the human tendency to doubt, even in the face of miraculous events. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this exploration into the events surrounding the Crucifixion and Ascension, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Sharing this video with friends and family helps spread the message. If you have any thoughts or questions, leave a comment below. One of the most well-known stories from this period is the road to Emmaus. In Luke 24, verses 13 to 35, 2 disciples are walking from Jerusalem to Emmaus, discussing the crucifixion and resurrection. As they walk, Jesus joins them. Watch closely now. Again, he appears out of nowhere. But they don't recognize him at first. He explains the scriptures, connecting the prophecies to his life and death. When they reach Emmaus, Jesus breaks bread with them, and they suddenly realize who he is. This moment was both shocking and deeply spiritual, illustrating how Jesus guided his followers